I'm moving out of the town I've lived in for the past 3 years next week. I'll be living in my hometown of Fayetteville, North Carolina for the summer until I move again to go off to college. Now that I'm hopefully moving on to bigger and better things, I've been reflecting on my time here. I'd kind of gotten down on myself, thinking I had wasted my time away. But maybe I shouldn't really have any regrets. Sure, I could have done better in school and maybe done more things, but overall, I think I've had a great and pretty productive time here. Having an apartment to myself has been fantastic. For the first few weeks, I slept on an air mattress that I had moved into my living room so I could more easily binge watch DVDs I checked out at my school. For a while, I was watching at least 2 a day. And with this apartment, I think I've gotten some cool experiences that I wouldn't have otherwise. Before I moved here, I had never really had any alcohol besides maybe like 2 or 3 beers. And my first real drinking experience came actually from a neighbor here. He was this older guy in his 50s who was always sitting outside reading like old science textbooks, and he made moonshine. I've always felt that having my first real drinking experience being from moonshine that my neighbor made to be really special and just pretty cool. Quickly after moving here, I found the closest Chinese restaurant I could, and I probably became one of their greatest customers. I had my priorities set high. It's called Peking Gourmet, though it's a little more ratchet than it is gourmet, which is a good thing. When I'm getting a combo of like some saucy chicken with fried rice and an egg roll, I don't want any frills. I want my Chinese place to have a little grunge to it. My closest high school friend moved here as well after graduating. I kind of was really glad to have someone familiar around after I had moved. For many, maybe the biggest and most exciting part about moving is, meeting a load of new people. But I took comfort in having that same main friend that I've had the past 2 years here with me, and for the most part, not meeting and hanging out with too many new people. My friend and I, we never really found one hobby to stick to. Our interest would kind of change rapidly. For a while, we wanted to start bowling until we realized how expensive it was to do it on a regular basis. Really, to make it economical, you have to join some super official league, which to us kind of seemed like it would take the fun out of it. Our discussions were always really interesting and set on, and I'm hoping they'll continue to be interesting as we talk now that we're moving apart. But they would always focus on whatever topic we were really obsessed with at the time. And few of them were really consistent. The one that really stuck out and, would keep coming up was the golden age of piracy, which is a great interest to have when you live on a coast, especially a coast that had, some of the greats like Blackbeard. I'll get into my love of piracy in another video, which is kind of awful that I'm saying I love pirates who are really just, wandering, plundering, murderous sea thugs, but they are pretty awesome, and we'll have to get to that later. I know it may sound sappy or trite to say, I've really grown up over the past few years, but I think I truly have, and I'm at a loss for better wording. And it might sound odd that the only things I've really talked about regarding my time here is binge watching DVDs, having my first experience with moonshine, eating copious amounts of Chinese food, and talking about pirates with my best buddy, but those were my experiences, and I had a great time doing it. And I do think I've grown and learned from them, found new responsibilities. I had neighbors that I had to keep in mind when I had my friends over. I learned that drinking way too much moonshine isn't a great time at all. Eating too much Chinese food really does a number on your waistline, and it's pretty hard to get off. I learned how to deal with conflicts with friends better. And on that, I learned that it's okay to just have a small, select group of friends, that I don't need to branch out into this wide group that would have really just made me uncomfortable. Of course, I don't know how I would be if I didn't have these experiences, but I wouldn't take them back, and I've never understood people wanting to take back an experience. That seems to be kind of missing the point of living. So, no more regrets. It was a pretty great time. Also, thanks to my brother, I now have a working computer. So, the actual podcast will be up very soon. And this is my first video that I'm using my microphone on. I was using just my my headphones earlier, so I think the audio quality is going to be a lot better. And I'm really excited to be able to branch out more into these videos and to the podcast I'm working on. Thanks for watching.